Fate will sponsor what your budget does not allow. Every month, I live a life of faith.
Even when the bank account is breathing,
Mina
it has fresh air. There's nothing.
Mina can start at a minus 100,000. My faith will take it to a plus 1 million. An entrepreneur that will tell you that they are always on the mountaintop, they are now. Amanga nje. For an entrepreneur stepping up, you are an answer to other people's prayers. There are so many people that are praying for a job. You know, and if my business grows,
you're the answer.
I'm the answer to those prayers. For me to help you, I must help you help yourself. No, you are big. You are powerful. You are great. You are destined for greatness. It's what you speak. It's what you declare. It's what you release. And
welcome to another edition of Mindset Profits. We are talking today about navigating the seasons of life, the highs, the lows, the mystery. You can make mistakes on both. You can make mistakes on your highs. You can make mistakes when you are low. And to do this, the one and only Zoe Mkabela is back on the podcast. Looking
Mr.
amazing
Awesome.
as always.
Thank you. You hijacked me.
I said that on purpose.
Hey, Mr. Awesome hijacked me. As we were just having a simple meeting, you know.
And I said the camera, the
And
studio is right next door.
I'm
You're
like,
here.
I look like I'm wearing pajamas today. But anyway, one must always be ready, right? That's the world of entrepreneurship. You must always be on the go. You must always be ready.
So you are just as curious what we're going to talk about.
I am very curious.
What I like about you is
Yes.
you've navigated high seasons in your life. You've navigated low seasons in your life. You've done so with grace. And you've done this and built a really good business that's going international.
International.
So, yeah, lots to learn from you. Are you good to go now?
Yes, we're good to go. We're good to go.
Let's start here. I think the one thing you said to me offline was the billboard.
Yes.
You always revert to looking at you being on a billboard and it makes you feel a certain way. So unpack that part and we'll move on from there.
Yeah, so the billboard for me is always my reference point. And, I always call myself a woman of faith. And I always say one of the things that I recently said was that faith will sponsor what your budget does not allow.
Hey, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, the reason why the billboard is always my reference point, or seeing myself on William Nickel, right? Seeing my face on William Nickel on one of the prime sites in Joburg. I think it's now Winnie Mandela. Seeing myself on a prime site in Johannesburg, and there is my face. That I always go back to that moment and how it made me feel. What it did to my faith. It's like it jumped out of my chest, because when you've been struggling for so long and you believe in something, and you believe that it's going to happen, you don't know how it's going to happen, and it eventually happens. For me, that was one of my wow moments. To say this faith thing really works. And whenever I find myself in my low, I always go back to that. I always go back to looking at that. And just to, if you don't mind me saying, right, billboards are very expensive. Especially in prime sites of Joburg, like your Sandton, your Melrose Arc, your Kyalami, your Midrand.
And that's where you found yourself.
The Sandton. That's where the Volumicious billboards were flighted for a period of 3 years.
Yo.
3 full years, ne? Month to month, back to back. No, it was not a once-off.
Okay.
That was 3 full years from November 2020 up until end of 2023. A girl from the
what was on the billboard?
It was my face.
Your
product?
product?
Yeah, it was the products. It was Volumicious, and I believe that God was giving me credibility in the marketplace because people will not take you seriously until you have made it.
How many billboards are we talking about?
Yeah, we're talking about over, because they were flighting them every month and rotating them, so it was 4 times in a month. So we're looking at 4 sites per month for 3 years. So you can just calculate how much that is, right? And that's why I say that faith will sponsor what your budget does not allow.
What does your product do? What does your business do for those that will see you for the first time? I know there will be thousands that saw you the last time you were here. That know, but just summarize.
No, so thank you for that opportunity. So basically, the product that I'm talking about is called Volumicious. So Volumicious is a product that provides a permanent solution to alopecia. So what is alopecia? Alopecia is hair loss. You know, alopecia is not a disease. It's basically just a hair loss condition. And there's different types of hair loss. You know, women are losing hair on the hairline, which is the most common one amongst many women. And it's really because of the wrong hairstyles that they do, the glues and stuff. And then women are also losing hair at the center of the head, even men, you know. So it's a product that is really providing a solution to different types of hair loss, your androgenic, your bald patches, hair that's not growing at all, hair that's growing slow. So I'm basically selling hair confidence, packaged in products as well as hair clinic services. So in a nutshell, that's what I do. And I also offer opportunities for empowerment, meaning that people can tap into the business as distributors and make money. And over and above that, there's also an option to franchise, you know, within the business, because I believe that as an entrepreneur, it is my responsibility to provide a solution to what I call the triple challenges, which are facing our country, be it poverty, inequality, and unemployment. So basically, that's what I do. I'm not only selling products, but I'm also providing opportunities for people to be empowered and make money.
Your confidence is levels now.
Are you serious?
Looking at you with pride.
Are you serious? Well, this is my coach, right?
All right. So, how many distributors do you have?
It's quite a lot. You know, from where I've started, I think we are sitting at over 200, you know, distributors. And some people will say, yeah, that's a slow number or that's a big number. You know, how I've structured my business, because I come from corporate and I work for global companies. And I've seen what gives those companies longevity. You know, it's companies that have been around for hundreds of years. You know, many people, or especially nowadays in the market, when people are joining a company, they're always pushing network marketing, you know, which is it almost feels like a pyramid, you know. Okay. But my business model is not based on, it's based on, you know, some of the things that you know, teach us. It's basically, you know, you build your bottom line, you build your customer base, you take care of your customers, because that is what is going to take care of you in the long run. You know, we teach people how to sell, how to sell the products, how to grow, you know. And for me, I think that is what brings sustainability. Not that if you join, you get 200 rand and that's not sustainable in a long period of time.
Develop the people.
Yeah, you develop the people, you know, because that's empowerment. I'm developing you to be able to stand on your own 2 feet and make money on your own without you having to rely on Peter, James, and John that joined the business so that you can have money. If there's no longer Peter, James, and John that are joining, then it means that you collapse. And for me, that is not a sustainable structure. So I can confidently say that we have over 100 independent distributors in South Africa and outside of South Africa.
Okay. All right. So now if I look at that, because this is growth, and I think the vision looks even brighter than where you are now, the future looks brighter than where you are now.
Yeah.
I want to start with how to navigate the lows, the low points in your life. I think from the last episode, a low point that we spoke about was life after divorce, life after having a child and losing income and having to start a business from zero. That's a very painful position to find yourself in life. But I want you to reflect on others. It doesn't necessarily have to be that one, but a low point in your life that you've had to navigate, and what got you through. What was going on in your mind? What were you feeling? What were you doing?
I think for me, let me just get out of business and not touch on the business a lot. But I think one of my low points in life was being diagnosed with depression.
That has happened?
Yes, that has happened to me. I was diagnosed with depression. I remember it was at Fourways Hospital. And my heart was beating like it was going to come out of my chest, like for real. And they did the test, the doctors did the test, they did everything, and they came back to say, we didn't find anything wrong with your heart, because I thought I'm having a heart failure. They came back and they gave me 3 cards. And they said to me, you're depressed and you're going through depression. And that's when it hit me to say, how did I find myself here? How did I get to this point in my life? And I had to navigate through that and, to sort of look at the steps that I took. Because, we need to take responsibility, for our actions. So I had to find myself navigating that process and telling myself that this is not going to be me.
Okay.
This is not going to be my life.
Were you clear about what caused it?
Very clear.
Was it business pressure?
No, it was not even, it was even before the business. Yeah.
This is that far back.
Yeah, this is that far. Hey, man, I've had so many lows, hey. But I just wanted to start there, Because sometimes when people look at us, they think that we haven't gone through stuff. And people are sometimes scared to talk about depression because, they think they'll be judged. But it goes that far back where you look and you say, you know what, if I didn't make certain decisions in my life, I would not be finding myself here. So that's what.
So this was pressure from marriage, not business.
Yeah, pressure from marriage. Pressure from
being a pastor.
Yeah, also that. Why? Not only being a pastor, but also being a pastor's wife, because you are expected to be perfect. There's an expectation that you cannot break. You need to have it together. Manjai, no. And that pressure, of always having to show up. Every Sunday you must show up. They must give grace to pastors. Hey, they're also human. You can't crack. So it was all of that, and also working in corporate.
So the combination.
Yeah, the combination of all of that. And obviously in corporate you're dealing with targets. You're dealing with forecast calls every week. Why are you not on target? What are you going to do to close the gap?
And then you come to church, you're expecting some healing and soothing, and then there's more pressure.
You understand?
And then you come home, there's more pressure.
Yeah, there's more pressure. So it was coming on all angles. And for me also at that time, I was also the breadwinner. I was the one that was that. So that was one of my lowest points in life.
But depression, because look at 2 versions of you.
Yes.
A version of you that goes through that and ends up depressed, and a version of you that goes through that and finds purpose.
Yes.
And a reason to fight harder.
Yes.
And not crash.
Yes.
Because there's 2 pathways.
Yes.
With all of that pressure. And I imagine there will be someone who listens and is going through a lot of these challenges as well. Because those pathways are always open, but we don't realize when we drift to a pathway that leads us to depression, that it's not a disempowered path that we take. Do you get what I mean?
I get you.
Because you could literally have gone through that and come out stronger. Some people come out stronger, some people get depressed.
Yeah.
Those 2. What were you doing? Did you not have people that you could talk to? Because sometimes that's what it takes. I went through 5 years of depression as well. That's how I know this.
And me, I was very suicidal, by the way, at that time. I wanted to end my life.
Fortunately, I wasn't.
No, I was. Shem, I'm not going to lie. I felt like a walking mistake. I felt like and I understand people who go through that path and end up taking their lives. It's like you're in this dark space that you feel like, I'm never going to come out of here. That is the lie at the back of your head that tells you that I'm never going to come out of here. This is the end for me. And that's how I used to feel. I felt like I had reached a dead end and I couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
What were you doing to try and get out? Did it paralyze you to despondence?
No.
Were you doing nothing?
No, it did not. It did not. And that was my saving grace. And, I think when we were speaking offline, you say, when you like punching like scriptures everywhere, and for me, what had helped me is that when I was at the University of Stellenbosch, I had developed a routine where I used to have my quiet time all the time. So I would never neglect that, waking up in the morning and you get in the Bible. And one of the things that I used to do, I used to write. I used to write. Whenever I'd read the Bible, I would write. I would also write my prayers. So I had built that in the inside of me very early. in my 20s.
So
And now,
the foundation was
my
strong.
foundation was strong. And now in my 30s, I find myself going through this dark space in life. I didn't go to talk to anybody, or there's no one that called me that said, I'm sensing or I can feel in my spirit that you want to kill yourself.
Through life.
Yeah, that you're gonna kill yourself. And for me at the time,
You did think about killing yourself?
A lot of times. And because I was in sales, I used to spend a lot of time on the road while I was working for this global, this company. I used to travel, between Johannesburg. I would go to different parts of Johannesburg. And during that time, actually, let me say this before I get that.
Yeah.
Because I was still in Distributors and I used to boil water with a pot to bath, I used to look forward to going outside of Joburg just so I could have a shower.
Ooh.
Just so that I could shower, And during those times when I'll be on the road and there's a lot of trucks on the road, and then the idea will come. It was almost like this voice that will say, just accelerate, crash behind that truck. You come out of this,
Jeez, man.
Yeah, I used to get that a lot. Or just pull up the handbrake. Just go at 160. Just pull up the handbrake. People will think it was an accident. They'll think, you just got involved in a car accident.
That went through your mind?
That went through my mind so many times.
What stopped you?
It was these years that I built at the University of Stellenbosch, that quiet time. It was the word of God. That's why I'm such a big advocate for the word of God, because that's what saved me from suicide. It was the word that will come out, the different scriptures that will come out. And one of the scriptures that I vividly remember is Jeremiah 29:11. I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, plans to give you a hope in the future. That saved me.
But when you think of a scripture like that, it is powerful.
Yeah.
When you think and reflect on it during the season where nothing is working.
Yes. For me, that's what gave me that light at the end of the tunnel.
It still encourages you.
Yeah, it still encouraged me to say, even though I'm not seeing this future, I'm not yet seeing it like physically with my eyes, but I know that if God said it, then He will bring it to pass. And what I started to do was I started to imagine it. I started to think about, that life. So that's what helped me navigate through my lows. To start to imagine, that's where even this whole thing about having a vision board, you start to think about the life that you want. You start to imagine, you having it before you have it, because that is faith. Faith is the evidence of things you are hoping for. Where is the evidence? It's here in your mind. So for me, that's how I navigate. I was like, you know what, I'm going to stop this thing of thinking negatively. I'm going to start thinking right, because when you think right, when you believe right, you start to speak right? And you start to act right. So that's really how I navigated my low seasons.
I think the good part is in what you're saying is how you get out of it. But we started this part of the conversation with you talking about just reflections on how did I get here.
Yeah.
And sometimes we ignore the things we are doing that are keeping us there.
No, it's true.
Because you can lose the foundation
Yes.
of the devotionals that you're doing. People don't realize when they've lost something that used to work for them.
Yeah.
There are things that you can lose in the process when you're depressed. You can introduce routines that keep you depressed.
Yes.
You can scroll through and watch things that disempower you and keep you in that state. You can talk to people that reinforce and give the evidence in what they say to you and just how they talk, that this is normal. Stay here. We ignore the things we are doing that are keeping us there.
Exactly. And we don't want to take responsibility for it.
Yeah. Is there anything that you were doing, though, that was unresourceful? I know you didn't lose the devotional, so fortunately that kept you going. Did you introduce any habits, any coping habits?
Yeah, let me tell you what I did. In fact, today, Google has that reminder. I came across a picture of my wall in Deep Sloot. That was in 2017. And that was the time when I was very depressed. I came across a wall. In this wall, it was almost like my prayer wall, where I would write my prayers and actually post them. And I was like, wow. I've been so consistent at this. It was like a reminder. Sometimes we speak things that we don't, we preach what we don't live. We tell others to do what we don't practice. And when I saw that, I was like, wow, I'm actually still consistent at this. And this is what helped me, even though
you were writing scriptures and putting them on
yeah,
the wall.
I will write my prayers. I would write my prayers down, of which is something that just in the past month I've been encouraging people to do. Because I have these moments of reflection. I like to reflect a lot. Even when I'm going through lows in my business, I always reflect. Because it's always good to reflect. Because reflection helps you to see how far you have come and what you had to overcome. So that even when you are going through lows in the business, you can look back to say, but if I've come this far, whatever I did to get here, I must continue to do it. Because people think, an entrepreneur that will tell you that they are always on the mountaintop, they are lying. Amanga nje. I always say running a business must be listed. There's this show we used to watch growing up, 1,000 Ways to Die.
Oh yeah. Hey, when are the things you're interested in?
No, but there's a show like that, 1,000 Ways to Die.
I remember it.
Because running a business is really so stressful. And if you don't have that inner strength, you're not going to cope. Because especially when you know that I'm not in this business just to live my best life. I understand that this is an assignment. It's a kingdom assignment to help other people. Because for me, that is how my business is structured. It's not just for me to go on holidays. I don't even go on holidays. I'm not yet there, to say I'm just going to just splurge. Because I understand that it's a kingdom assignment, to help, help other people.
Well, first off,
I'm sorry, I'm all over the place.
No, you are fine. The first of the show, you are saying you're watching 1,000 Ways to Die. That's a terrible show if you're depressed.
Yeah, because you start, you look for ideas, right? This thing is like, you need to find an idea and how do I check out if you're very quick.
That's a terrible show to watch.
No, I never watched that during that time, but I remembered growing up, there was a show like that, someone will eat a vegetable that they didn't wash and,
I know the show.
Yeah, I remember it.
Mentioning it in this context is like, ooh, that would be the worst idea. So what I see is, as you are rising, and I've seen this in myself, there are people and there are things that feed into your energy, just empower you and make you feel like, yes, I can do this. But there are also people and things in your life or around you, in your environment, that drain your energy. When you reflect back in the times that you're trying to rise and you felt like there's this that keeps trying to pull me down, what were some of those things?
Hey, do I need to say it here, Mr. Awesome Man?
No, don't say sentences with things that will destroy families.
You know what? Can I tell you one of the difficult things that we encounter, especially as business people, especially when we are rising, right? Is the people that look at us and they see us as a bank account. They see you as... Hey, they just see us as an overflowing fountain, Jay, And when you have a good heart, like myself, naturally, I think God blessed me with a good heart. It's almost like you want to be there for everybody. And I thank God for having mentors and having coaches, because you end up running your business like a charity organization. Someone comes with a problem, before you know it, you realize that I've created so many holes in my business just by trying to be there. For people. And I think that is one of the struggles for many entrepreneurs, is that you just become this cash cow that everyone can just come and they just withdraw without having to, to deposit.
So that was the one thing draining you.
Yeah.
As you were trying to rise.
Yeah, as you're trying to rise and you're trying to build and you're trying to build systems, it's just that there are certain things that I cannot mention, but yeah.
No, it's okay. Look, I don't like destroying families because of content.
And it's not even about families. It's not even about families. Even within the business itself, when you are trying to set up certain things, and then there's an expectation, that it looks like you're making lots of money. So please come help me here. Come help me build this. And in trying to help to build, it's like you are piling just more problems on top of yourself.
Did that create situations where you would end up in debt trying to help people?
Of course.
That was quick.
I'm telling you, oh my gosh. Me, I'm an honest person. Like, I'm trying to kamba manga, because the truth will set other people free. You do get in a problem trying to help another person get out of a problem. And one of the things that I had learned, you see this cup here? Let me make an example with this cup. I always say that your cup must be full and filled to overflow. People must drink from the overflow. What is inside the cup is mine. So I am empowered to say no, because this water is mine. If I take this water and pour all of it in your cup, my cup is empty. And when my cup is empty, I've got nothing to give from. So we must be empowered to say no. If my cup is not overflowing, it's not a waterfall, right? If it's not overflowing, unfortunately, I can't help you. But the problem
you
is...
need to be setting healthy boundaries there.
Set boundaries. No is also an answer. And no one is going to kill you by saying no. And if you're going to hate me for saying no because I don't want to give you water that is supposed to be mine, I don't have love. This friendship can end, this relationship, whatever it has to end, let it end. This water is mine. I'm telling you the truth. This water is mine. This one is mine. I'm not yet at the stage where I am overflowing. Because sometimes we drown because we're trying to save everybody. And you can't save the whole world.
How does it feel when you worked hard to help people and then you get in trouble because of it and you reach out to them when they can help you and they say no?
Yo. Just that I'm saved. I call them. God help me. It's very painful. It is very, very painful, but it's also a lesson, right? It's a lesson. It's a hard lesson to learn. That, you know what, in future. Now I understand. You know, many people that have money, they always say, but they are stingy. Now I understand why people are like that. Someone who look like they've got millions, they can help you, but they'll say, I don't have. It's because over the years, they've encountered a lot of abuse. And when they were down, no one was willing to help them when they were helping everybody else. So it's very painful when people that you know that this person, I was there for them, but now that the tables have switched, they can't do it for me. So it's always a lesson to say, you know what, one day when I make that 100 million, even if you can come and cry me a river, it's a no. Go sell the products. Yeah, I've got a distribution option, sell the products. Know what it feels like.
Have you done that before?
What?
To someone asking for money and you create a business opportunity and say, here, go work, you'll eat the profit.
Okay, Mr. Awesome, let's be honest. I make money by selling, right?
Yeah.
I make money by selling the products. If you come, I believe that for me to help you, I must help you help yourself. Because if you coming to me to ask me for money, if I give you that fish every day or whatever, I'm not empowering you. I'm teaching you to be dependent on me. And it's not going to work for our relationship. So if I'm making money by selling these products, go sell so you can feel how it's like to be talking all day on social media like it's fun. Go share my post. Go and share my post. Don't come and go share my post. Go and see how it's like to speak to 100 people and to make one sale. So if you're coming to me, you're asking me for money, basically that's my energy. Go and sell yourself so that you know how it's like. And I think once people can understand that, it's not something that just falls from heaven and lands on your lap.
You work for this money.
No, you work. Me, I'm a hard worker. I work very hard. I don't even sleep 8 hours a day. So now you come and ask me for 100,000. Excuse me. Do I look like a bank? Do I look like I'm married? Elon Musk.
You are fired up. Let's switch it to the other side. Mm-hmm. As you are rising, yes. I know you've talked to the energy drain, but who was feeding into your energy? Who was building your faith along the way? Just pick a couple. I'm curious to see.
You mean a couple of people?
Yeah.
Do I need to name them?
Lessons? You can. It's up to you.
One of the people really I'll have to give it to is my mom. I always say to her that she's really given me a legacy of faith. which is something that I've also passed on to my kids. It's my mom. She'll always encourage me, pray. If there's one thing that I can do very well, is that, if you can say, Zoe, let's pray right now.
You go.
I know. I don't have to think. It's just, so my mom has really helped me with that. And it's a couple of people, but let me really give honor where honor is due. And one of those people is you.
I don't want to make this about
No,
me.
it's not about you. I mean, we need to give honor where honor is due. Every time I feel like, she has this
is getting too difficult.
I always remember how you believe in me. And you as my coach from SAP and my coach for life. When I think about how you believe in me as an entrepreneur, it encourages me to keep going, And I think I've said this to you a number of times, that you encourage me to, to keep going. And it's also my kids, I believe God has blessed me with the smartest of kids that just believe in me so much. And
what do they do? Or what do they say?
The things that they speak, I look up to you. I want to do better than you. My son.
Your kids have said that?
Yeah, they've said that. They've said, you inspire me to be better. You inspire me to, when I grow up, I inspire them. And I'm like, wow. And also my employees, my team, just looking at them and just how they've grown. I remember I always make an example about one of my employees, which I hired in 2020. I had to choose between her and someone else. Like, umuntu that is not even prepared for an interview. They don't even know which company they are coming to be. It's like, do you even know about Volumicious? They didn't know. But when I look at how she has grown and how she has transformed, it just really inspires me that this is a business that is really transforming lives.
Oh, so you do see the success stories in the lives of
No,
the
I
people
do.
you've touched.
I mean, even the distributors. One of them that I can mention by name, her name is Lumka. She's really now flying in the business. I met her from church, and I gave her a flyer, and the way she's just so inspired in the business. I mean, she's a full-time employee, but she's making over 20,000 Rand a month just from the profits from selling, and this is someone that knew nothing about sales. And then we partner with Abo Mr. Awesome to say, come and train my team.
But you said you don't talk numbers. Now you create problems for Lumka.
No,
Now we can go to Lumka.
No, people must sell. Must stop, No, really, because it creates, I don't like it because it creates, an entitlement. When now you've got money, you must borrow me. I say, I'm telling you how I'm making this money. I'm inviting you, come and make it yourself, because then that way you are empowered. Okay, Mr. Awesome, now you've made $1 million. Now I'm coming, please borrow me 500,000. Hi, Zoe. No, it doesn't work like that. No, I'm just saying I'm sharing just to inspire, to say it is possible. You see, and when I look at the distributors and how they are pushing and how this is changing their lives, it comes back to inspire me to say, you know what, girl, even on your down days when you feel like I can't, look at the impact. Look around you, look at that impact, and that for me, it keeps me going. Hey, because I do have my down days. Hey.
So suicide is not part of the equation anymore.
No, that was the devil. That was demonic.
So that's gone.
No, that's gone. I will never ever go through that, because I always look back and I say, if I listen to that voice, if I crash behind that truck, I would have aborted all of this. There would be no Volumicious. Women in Mhlawumbe ngabe they are still struggling with hairline and low hair confidence. I would have aborted so much. I would have aborted an opportunity for people to be empowered. I look at my employees. I mean, with my employees, there's over 15 babies that have been born at Volumicious. And I look at all these families that, I would have aborted. And I always say that, and an entrepreneur stepping up, you are an answer to other people's prayers. There are so many people that are praying for a job, and if my business grows,
you're the answer.
I'm the answer to those prayers.
Were there resources outside of people that you tapped into? Books? I know back then podcasts were not a thing.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I did read a couple of books.
You mentioned Think and Grow Rich last time.
Yeah.
What else? beyond that one?
Uh-huh.
Which one stands out?
Let me just think now out of my head.
Or pastors that you were following? I know you love following pastors.
No, I've read a couple of books. I mean, I've got this cupboard. I've got a 10-day MBA.
Okay.
I've got a 10-day MBA that I've read that also helped me with marketing. There's another one, strategic selling, Mila Hyman. Yeah, I think it's something like that. Some European people.
Yeah.
But I also do follow, pastors because I'm a spiritual person. You want me to mention them?
Not mention. You can.
Yeah.
Look,
No.
it's up
I mean.
to you.
Yeah.
I don't really.
Yeah. I mean, I do feed off, other people's,
lessons.
I do follow, because you cannot. No man is an island. We need to learn from other people, and God has gifted us differently. You cannot be jack of all trades. In
What
everything.
did being in a program with other entrepreneurs do for you?
Number one, I was like, we're all having the same problem. It comforted me because I'm not the only one going through this. Yeah, I mean, when I joined, one of the programs that I joined was the SAP Foundation. And when you sit and you listen to everyone, it's like, actually,
I'm not alone here.
I'm not alone here, we are all navigating around the same problems. And it's okay. It's part of the process, because I think sometimes we beat ourselves too hard because we think it's supposed to be perfect, everything, and life is a journey, and also just seeing other people's success stories,
that's something that I interviewed Ken, a Kenyan creator. He said the same thing. It said, for many people don't realize your problem is only a problem because you think you're alone.
Not exactly. It's not an uncommon problem, but until you get into those spaces and into those rooms, you realize that.
Yeah, it's interesting because the energy shift.
Yes.
The energy shifts. You will be thinking, this feels so heavy. But once you see that 20 others are going through the same thing, the energy is different. And when that energy switches about it, you do more to fix it faster than when you're stressed and anxious and depressed about it.
I don't know why we find comfort. I don't know if we're groupies or what, but it's not that it's comforting, but it makes you realize that you're human, just like everyone else. And
I always look at that in workshops and wonder, why is it so? Because why would I be comforted by the fact that someone else is struggling?
Because you realize that your problem is not unique,
But you get why I keep asking myself that question. I even ask it in the workshops. Why are we feeling better because others are having the same problem? Because
you realize that there's nothing wrong with you. It's not like you're a guest. It's just you're just passing through. It's common.
It's a season.
It's a season, and it's going to pass based on what you do about it. And we are all in that room with a common problem, and we're gonna find a solution, and we're gonna implement it. Because I think another thing is having a problem and not doing anything about it. So when we are in those rooms, we're going to do something about it. I mean, one of the problems that I had in my business was a marketing problem.
Yeah.
I was doing it the same way until I met Mr. Awesome right here.
You keep defaulting to this.
Yeah, no, because it helped me. Yeah.
Let's go to your high point. Think about the time when business was flying, the money was coming through at the highest, like the peak.
Yeah.
Peak Zoe.
Yeah.
And look at mistakes you made there.
Yeah. I think I got my breakthrough in 2020. And I grew very fast. It was very, very fast. And obviously I'm coming from corporate, I'm coming from corporate, from earning a salary, right? And I was all this money. I wouldn't say I made bad decisions, but there are some decisions that I wish I had made, differently. And I wish that I had mentors early, because I only had mentors after I had made all those mistakes. But I'm grateful that I made those mistakes, early. And really, one of the mistakes for me was, like I mentioned earlier, where you find yourself like, you're just a charity organization.
Helping everyone.
Yeah, helping everyone, because you think,
without boundaries.
Yeah, without boundaries. So for me, that was one of the mistakes that I had made. And because being mamfundisi, it's like you have the heart for the people, and you think this is a church, and this is the business, You must account for all these things, You didn't have
tags at the end of
There's
the
tags, no? Guys. There's VAT. You don't have an accountant, and then before you know it, you're owing SARS. So those are things you look back, you're like, there are certain things I wish I knew. But you appreciate the mistakes because you like, imagine if I was making these mistakes
later,
yeah.
Also, what you appreciate is I made them early, I could recover from them.
Yeah.
Than once the money is.
Yeah, because you find now, you say, you hear that someone is owing us 100 million. How did it get to that? We didn't have the information. I didn't know that I need to submit tax returns.
Or you knew at the back of your mind, just wasn't a priority.
Yeah, because we were not taught, you see. We were not taught. And sometimes we outsource services based on things that we don't know. And we get the wrong people still to advise us. Yeah, you see. But I made a lot of mistakes, hey. Yes.
Yeah. Did you feel at any point the overconfidence that says I can afford these mistakes because the money is going to come back anyway? I'm going to make more.
Yeah.
Because there's a statement that people say, and I concur with it. I want to hear your take on it.
Okay.
That when the money is there, you're less resourceful. For example, if you have to run a marketing campaign and you have 300,000 in the bank right now, you're less resourceful in how you deploy that money than someone who has 3,000.
Yes, of course.
And someone who has 3,000 can deploy it in a way that gets the results you get with your 300,000.
Exactly.
Because now they are forced to be resourceful with little.
Exactly. When the money is just flowing, like you just pledge and, but mind you, when your budget is limited, you need to make sure that if I take 1,000 from this 3,000, it has to work. Yeah. It has to multiply. But when you are sitting at 300,000, I don't know, at the back of your mind, you think more is coming, But when you are left with 3,000, like, this is all I have. If this doesn't work, I'm stuffed.
What lesson would you give to someone who has the budget that will help them switch to be resourceful even if they have a lot?
Okay, let me put it like this. If you have 100,000 right now in your account, take it as though you've got 10,000 when it comes to your marketing spend. That 10,000, right? You've got 100,000. Take it like you've got 10,000. Because if you take it like that, then you'll know that you cannot allow your money to be wasted. Because sometimes when it's a lot, I've seen myself where you've done some marketing things and you're like, I never even got a return from that.
Or you put money in places you shouldn't have.
Yeah, I put money in marketing things that I shouldn't have because it promised, So look at that 100,000 as though it's 10,000 and then use it wisely.
What's one crazy expense you've employed? And I like your hack, by the way, because what it says is if you've got a budget and you've got a lot of money, try and see in your meeting with your team what can be achieved with 10% of that budget.
Exactly.
Just to test your idea of how you want to how you want to spend that money.
Exactly.
Sometimes you might realize that you still can achieve the goal you want with the 10%.
Yeah. I've done stupid things. As some of them I'm not even proud of. But now that I look back, I'm like...
What's one you can mention? You can mention. I know there's some that you want to keep in the closet. We all have those.
No, it's like you sign there's these marketing companies. And I think also because especially when you haven't had coaches and you're still trying to grow, you meet these marketing people that promise you like crazy stuff. And they'll say, no, sign a contract with us for 2 years. 8,000 rand. You think 8,000 is small
per month.
It's not a big deal. I can make it in 2 days, 1 day. Then you sign those things And when you look back, you're like, because I cannot even see a return for my investment. Another one would be, you can pay me 10,000 rand to speak about your product, and you're looking like
Influencers.
I know. Yeah, at Volumicious, I came to discover that I don't need influencers.
You are the
business.
biggest.
I'm the biggest influencer based on how I position my brand. I can be my own influencer. And because we don't buy, I've had people say, can I be an influencer? I've got beautiful hair. I'm like, no, that's a lie. I'm selling a lie because when I already have beautiful hair. We use our customers, their results, that's all we need. You see, but because back then your mind is not yet wired right.
And because the money is there, so you say yes to anything.
Yeah, when you say yes to anything. And before you know it, you realize that I blew it. Yeah. But God has given me grace. He's giving me grace. I've made mistakes, and I've had to recover. Yeah.
What's the future looking like? What's your vision as we kept?
As I'm trying to cool I don't like to announce my things before they manifest.
You don't have to announce the vision for the company,
yes.
But what's in your heart in terms of impact?
Well, for me, in terms of impact, obviously, is to, give people this opportunity to make money from selling the products and as well as franchising. That's all I can say for now.
Okay.
Yeah. But there is an opportunity, to make money. And the hair industry is very big. And my mindset is the one that says that the sky is big enough for all of us to fly. This pond in the fish mentality, I don't fly with that. So if you know what's in my mind for the future, I can just say that I don't think like the fish in the pond. I think like the shark in the ocean. In a nutshell, without saying much, Yeah.
No,
because sometimes when we announce things prematurely, being a spiritual person who understands these things, is that there are certain things that will be hijacked. So we need to be careful about what we say before they materialize.
What do you do as an alternative? Because I know you've got visions. You write them down and you hide.
For me, I share my vision once it is manifested. To say, this is what I wanted, this is what I've achieved, this is what I had to do to move from here to here. You see?
I get the sense behind it, but
yes.
How do I know? If I am looking to take inspiration from you, how do I know that you didn't lie? Because once the result is there, it's easy to take an old photo and say, or create something and say, this was the vision, now I'm there. But now you don't know that actually was the vision. Do you get, because you can lie. Or someone can lie once the result is there. Like I could look at the podcast and
I don't understand why people would have to lie about such things.
Some people can. That's why there are scammers in this world, remember. They thrive on this.
Well, we're different. You see, for me, I don't have to lie about where I've been, where I am, and where I want to go. But I do understand that, and this is also lessons that I've had to learn, that, there are certain things that you must not announce prematurely until they have manifested. Unless maybe you are with your close circle.
So you do have a close circle.
Yes, I do have it. Yeah, I mean, we all need to have the boardroom people. I call them your board. No, did I say bedroom? Boardroom people, where you can say, this is the vision, this is where we need to go, this is what we need to do. But a vision is not something that must be for the whole world, to know. Once it has materialized, then is when you can announce it to say, now we've achieved our vision. This is where we were. This is what we did to get to where we are right now.
As we close,
yes,
speak to people whose confidence is down because a lot has been said to them and about them. And so consistently that they end up believing that there must be something wrong with them. Maybe they are incapable of achieving certain goals because you're with an authority in your life or someone close enough to hurt you and they did put you down and say, you are dumb. You are useless. You are irrelevant.
You'll never amount to anything. You know what I always say, and this is my parting lines to anyone that will come across this is that it's not what people say to you that matters, but it's how you choose to respond. I believe in speaking life to yourself. And I always say that if you say I'm useless, those words will land if I allow my spirit to absorb them. If you have a problem with me, that is not my problem. I'm not going to take the problem you have about me and own it. You must keep it. I'm not going to keep it. If you think I'm useless, that is your problem. It is not mine. So to anybody who has ever had negative words said to them, don't own it. Don't take it. You go and speak life to yourself. Tell yourself you are powerful. Tell yourself you are great. Tell yourself that you are destined for greatness.
How?
You speak it. You look yourself in the mirror. You self-prophecy, right? I think the last time I was here, I spoke about how people curse themselves by what they say. You can also bless yourself by what you say. Because life and death is in the power of the tongue. And you will have what you say. And I always like to say this, that speak the reality that you want to see. You see me.
Yes.
Me. And this is what I believe. No one else has to believe it, right? This is what I believe. And this is what I always tell myself. And I always say the energy you emit is the energy you attract. What you say about yourself is what people will begin to see. Let me just fly one scripture. Yeah. The children of Israel, when they came out of Egypt and they went to Canaan, and they went to survey the land. I think 2 people went out to survey the land. And when they went there, they say, we saw these giants and we look like grasshoppers. And that's how they saw us in their eyes. So people will see you how you see yourself. So if you think you are small, guess what? That's what people are going to see. They're going to see a small person. Because it's the energy you are emitting. You are emitting an image. You say, I'm small. No, you are big. You are powerful. You are great. You are destined for greatness. It's what you speak. It's what you declare. It's what you release in the realm of the spirit. So me, I'm great. I'm powerful.
I'm enjoying it.
I'm destined for greatness. I will never be small.
What do these words mean to you? Your faith has made you whole.
Well, it means that, faith, for me, I call myself a woman of faith. And as I said earlier, that faith will cause you to achieve so much. That sometimes all you need really is that faith. Because with that faith, you'll be able to unlock the life that you want. Faith will make you whole because you believe that it can be done. And me, I live a life of faith. Every month, I live a life of faith.
Even when the bank account is breathing,
just
fresh air. There's nothing.
I can start at a minus 100,000. My faith will take it to a plus 1 million. Because that's what I believe. That's what I believe. Even if you go better, man, you'll never find me, Mr. Awesome. You'll never find me depressed. Oh my gosh. Yes, you go through those moments, but faith is such a powerful thing. And I would encourage everyone to get the word of God in their spirit, because that is what then will make your faith to be strong.
How do people find you and the product? Do a promo.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. Okay, so where you can find our products, we're on Take A Lot, so you can buy them on Take A Lot. I know Take A Lot offers free shipping, so you can get them there. You can also come to our hair clinics. We're in North Riding in Joburg and Riverside. So if you've got Google Maps or Waze, you can go and search for Volumicious. It will take you straight to our hair clinics. And then we also have a website, www.volumicious.co.za. You can follow us on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram to view our results and what the products can do. Or you can buy the products from a distributor in your region. If you want to be a distributor, if you want to make money, if you are tired of borrowing money from people, you can. Go to our website and apply and start selling and start your journey to financial freedom.
What about the international community?
Okay, so people outside of South Africa, they can you can reach us on info@volumicious.co.za. We do ship by DHL or FedEx. So there is a way to get the products to your country. It's not available on our website at the moment, but you can reach out to us. But if you also want to be a distributor in your country, there's also that opportunity. You're not limited. There's no limit.
Let's talk.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's talk. Thank you, Mr. Awesome.
Thank you.
Even if you hijack me today.
I'm sure someone will be happy I hijacked her. I know there will be someone. Please tell her that you're happy I hijacked her.
Thank you for hijacking me. Everything happens
You
for
were
a
here,
reason.
so I thought the studio is right next door. You might as well.
Right.
Thank you for joining us till this time. See you in the next episode. And you can tell us in the comments what you think. I know this will touch someone out there. Thank you.